everybody, to our energy tips for week 32, August 4th till August 10th, 2019. My name is Jona Bryndis. I'm your energy coach, guiding you through the deeper aspects of next week's energies coming in for all of us. And of course, they all translate uniquely for us. So this isn't supposed to be a forecast for you. This is supposed to give you a heads up on how you can better frame what you are experiencing, and hopefully also how you can better let go of the things that you perceive as struggle or as the sort of the grind of your life. All right, so right now we're coming out of a really heavy phase here. These last 2 months were all about cycles and loops, emotional and mental, really grinding, really exhausting for energetically sensitives and empaths. And so you got to understand that this isn't superimposed suffering or something, dark forces trying to lure you in to the pits of your own darkness. No, this is something that your energy does for you so that you can gain more clarity. And this clarity is coming in here this next week. So it's actually a really cool week, and a week to look forward to, not to have too many expectations or, it's the idealizations that often sort of tempt us into thinking that we're too slow, or that we're not good enough, or, that, all this is true and available for others, but not for me, like this deserving or this lack that we all feel. Those are all parts of our inner conflicts, our inner schisms, and these that determine these loops and cycles. All right, so if you want to break through this, you're going to have to overcome the fears that come with not really embracing the new. All right, so change can only come in if you let the old go. All right, and there are several stages of grieving that we all go through, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and so forth, that I want to address here today. But the overall picture here, and this is the important message for you for next week, is that there's a really beautiful new sort of life force, a really fortunate energy coming in. It's not like, you're going to win the lottery. Not like that. You're still going to have to do your part. You're going to have to be able to own your own fortune. And this is the part here that we all are afraid of. We avoid, this confrontation with something that, might show us how we're not really on the right path. And so instead of, doing something about it and break through it, we sort of opt consciously into the Groundhog Day. Okay, so if nothing changes in your life, then that's because you're not changing. That's because you're not changing anything. All right, so you got to really pound this into your head, into your heart, onto your fridge, that if you want things to change, you got to change. All right, and so it's really important that you bring in that first step here in next week, that you open up the avenues, that you let that train leave the train station so that a new train can arrive. All right, if you do, then this will be rewarded. So this is the new hope and the new sort of joy, the new love for life that I've been promising here for the last couple of weeks. I'm actually really looking forward to this next week. And will it be easy for you? No, this isn't about easy. All right, so this is another loop. All right, to think that everything is supposed to be easy. This is one of those spiritual misconceptions, that, when everything is in a flow, when everything is easy, then it's true or right. This isn't true, guys. Right? When things are in a flow, doesn't mean that they're easy. They do feel less grindy, but they're still, challenging you to go into your highest expression. All right? Life isn't hard. Life is an opportunity for you to grow into the highest potential that you can be, and to show up the best you can. And so it's really about us asking ourselves, are we really showing up the best we can? Instead of ruminating about how bad we are, or, doubting ourselves, we need to start doubting our ego a little more, because the ego is the part that justifies the looping, that brings the story, that makes it okay. All right. So that is something that you need to break through here in this next week. And I recommend it in the energy update, that you take this call seriously, that you invest in yourself, that you work on your own presentation, that you really go out there and don't see others as hostile. How can you ever really develop a relationship with other people if you feel deep down that they're hostile? All right, this is about harmonizing and unifying, and not about competing or winning. All right, so open up new channels. Sometimes it's mostly about clearing out the junk. So this is where the grieving part comes from. This is where the letting go and, sort of the stop loss comes from. All right. But sometimes it's really just a decision to say, I've had enough. I'm tired of this tiredness. I'm tired of never getting anywhere. I'm going to risk something here. I'm going to risk no longer being unhappy. Okay, that's the choice that you have. How is this going to play out energetically for us? Looking at our energy centers. So you will feel a lot of stuff come in here through your solar plexus, your third chakra. That's a good thing. It can also, of course, trigger our ego and sort of, the flip side of the coin, which can be, you being too fake, you being too egotistical. And so you just got to keep an eye on, whether you are exploitive in your expression of your love for life, or, if you act like you're entitled, or if you, take things away from others. That's the balancing act here that we all need to do in life, to find this right composition here of taking care of ourselves, taking care of our own needs, of our own desires, and then expressing them, sharing them with others, and agreeing, negotiating, what is most conducive for both of us, or for all of us, like the win-win or the win-win-win. All right, that's the challenge here for this next week, to not go into excess, with our joy, with our enthusiasm. But nothing to worry about, because most of you come from a place of, feeling drained anyway. So just allow this third chakra, the solar plexus energy, to come forward a bit and stay in your heart. Some of you will actually feel heart issues, like your heart racing, your heart pulsing, heart palpitations. All right, this is what we call heart expansion pain. So next week we'll bring in a natural increase, a natural expansion of your heart field, and this may feel a little painful also in your lungs or rib cage. All right, so don't freak out, don't go into pain. Obviously you need to have this checked out if you know that you have a heart condition, but for the most part this is just a response to all the rigidity, around your heart, the walls around your heart. Okay, they want to break open now. Okay, this is the fifth chakra energy that is coming in. We've been dealing with this here for quite a while already, but it always felt debilitated in these last weeks. And so next week, this is going to come out, the way it should. And you should smile a lot, and you should take care of yourself, and also pay attention to how you present yourself. Because your sixth chakra, your third eye, the connection with your truth, with your true essence that you are, will be increased. So yeah, you will also have perhaps new visions come in, new dreams. You just got to keep an eye on not going into this idealization or magical thinking. Okay, this will be the challenge here on your sort of clarity level. Okay, for empaths and energetically sensitives, that's a continual challenge, all right, to not fall for our magical thinking. And this is where masculine and feminine energies come in, when we can understand them a little better than we understand, or we can better feel this within. when we need to go into action and when we need to stop, when we need to calm down, when we need to accelerate, when we need to relax and integrate, and when we need to, push through things. All right, this is what how masculine and feminine energies relate to this. And if there's a constant conflict within ourselves, then that becomes real difficult, because we're wasting all our energy on this inner conflict. All right, and we can never actually bring this into full expression, full manifestation. So this is where a lot of you guys, and also the collective itself, has sort of the biggest collective task right now, that is overcoming this barrier between third and fourth chakra. In the collective, this will play out as continued displays of disgruntlement, unfortunately. So, these things that you see when people freak out, okay, when they literally can't resolve any of these inner schisms and they lash out, those are unfortunately things that we will continue to see here for the next year and a half, guys. And this expect this to be, more and more disconcerting until, the collective as a whole begins to realize that things have to change. So there are no solutions right now. Politicians, science, wherever you look, they can't offer solutions yet. All right, this is okay. We are developing as a collective, so slow that it almost feels like nothing is changing, or that we're devolving, really. But there is a strong evolutionary aspect in this right now. We just have to learn how to handle this better with this increasing pace and transhumanism that is moving into our 3D lives. All right, this next week has a surprise element to it, like something that will shock the sort of the global community, but in the end it will bring a very positive change. That's really all I can see right now. We will come out of this next week with new hope. All right, just no solution yet, but with new hope. Physically, I've mentioned this: exhaustion, heart issues, but also butterflies in your stomach. So many of you will also feel something really, really cool. So don't get freaked out if you can actually feel your life force rising through your lower chakras. Okay, this can be quite interesting. All right, this is what energy coaches are for, to help you interpret and to help you work with this. All right, but there can also be pains involved, such as gallbladder, liver and kidney pains here, guys. This has a lot to do with repressed anger and resentment. If you feel something there, then please seek a medical professional or a healing practitioner that can help you to detox. All right. Those of you who are more sort of on the rigid side, as far as their mobility is concerned, you'll feel a lot of stiffness. So I'm feeling a lot of stiffness right now because I have not been moving enough to stimulate my lymphatic system to release all the residues, of toxic energies in me. So this is sort of my plan here for next week. You can also feel a bit more on the nervous side next week. That's all right, though. Just, slow down on your caffeine intake, drink more water, and, look at where your energy goes when you get stressed. Those are your self-soothing mechanisms, and they're often not healthy. They're often not leading to positive results. They're actually, sort of leading to negative results. So this is how you can break through this physical cycle of tiredness as well. All right, just simply decide that this is a new beginning. All right, emotionally, same thing. Stop ruminating about what you don't have and what what you can't accomplish yet. All right, or what you're losing in the process. All right, you really got to ask yourself if you're done with if you really done with grieving, if you're done with being tired and demotivated. Okay, because nobody else can decide this for you. Not making a choice is also a choice, guys. Remember this. All right. So the fastest way to do this is to overcome a fear a small fear, bit by bit, what you can handle, because it will give you more courage to take on the next task and to take on the next hurdle. It's a constant reset, guys. Constantly, noticing and feeling into, when you go into your emotional looping, stop it. Even if it just lasts for a minute, or 6 seconds, it doesn't matter. Then you have to reset again. This is how you signal to your own energy that you want change. You just don't let it get away with it, going back into the old patterns. All right. Mentally, the exact same thing. Stop seeking this mental looping. With constantly thinking through things and going through all eventualities and worst case scenarios and blah blah blah, and then never actually doing something differently. Is all ego. This is a complete waste of your time. If you want to use your intellectual and your mental energies, okay, then focus on all the other options that you might not be able to see. I know this is hard, to see what you can't see or to know what you don't know. Well, then convince yourself that there's always something that you won't be able to know, and assume that the solution for whatever your problem is in that area, which means you're going to have to let go of all your opinions and views and so forth in order, to see the option that you cannot see right now. Allow yourself to feel better. This is something that seems like an emotional problem, but it's actually a mental problem. All right. For some reason, many of us still have this notion that there's something honorable, something noble about struggle or victimhood. All right. This is primarily in your head, but it also then, feeds your emotions. All right. So this place of inner peace, all right, can only come in when you can identify what these conflicting elements within you are. And this is primarily in your mindset. That's primarily in your views and your perception and in your opinions about things. All right. So let go of those conflicting beliefs and simply assume that there is a solution, but you can't see that right now, and then open yourself up for that one to come to you. In your relationships and your families, this is going to be a really cool week. You can start, bringing more joy into everything. I strongly recommend you that you go out, that you open up the avenues for others to be able to come to you, make yourself available. And you might be positively surprised. This is a wonderful week for meeting somebody new, but being completely swept away, all right? Or for entering a whole different level of quality in your existing relationship, all right? Here too, all right? This is all about the quality and the conflicts that you experience in your relationship, all right? There is no one ideal solution. In fact, there is no ideal to this. It's a continual improvement on this. So you just gonna have to be willing to set a new bar here for your quality and test this. Tough love, strict love is the right way, guys. If you are not okay with certain things in your relationship, then put it on the table and say, this might just be me. This, I might not be able to see my involvement in this or how I enable this, but I just want you to know that this is not okay for me, and I'm actively working on changing this. All right, so test that. Bring your partner to a test there too. See how he or she reacts, and then evaluate if this is good enough for you. Don't go into this immediate, you are not good enough. As empaths, you have a tendency to be codependent, to go the extra mile. Just as an experiment next week, stop going the extra mile. Just see what's really there. All right, this will be your task if you've already identified that you have sort of codependent tendencies. All right, this will drastically increase the quality of your relationship. Spiritually, this searching for love, the searching for connection is, of course, something that comes from a very, very deep place within all of us humans. This has nothing to do with your upbringing or whatever. This is an innate quality of our humanness. We all search for this deeper connection, this deeper spiritual connection, no matter how we call this, all right? And so there is no other way than actually honoring that and actually going into this inner connection. This is what I call the true self connection, which, by the way, is taking place here Friday night, 11 p.m. for free. You know this, every month I offer this energy work session where you can train this, all right? It's really about you understanding that purpose and meaning are not something that you can seek or find. Purpose and meaning are something that comes to an expression through you really understanding and feeling your own essence, through feeling your own nature, your own divine nature. And that is then what makes, manifestation happen. That is then what makes your higher potential unfold. So your higher potential won't unfold until you go there, until you make the necessary steps to accept what your true essence is. Energetically, this has a lot to do with the inner confliction, the inner schisms that we have, which are often rooted in our masculine and feminine energies, not understanding them right, not knowing even how we can feel them, and not being able to actually understand the inner signals that we are getting through our energy system, all right? So it's really important that you tune into these conflicting parts in you and consciously decide to harmonize them, to unify them, instead of trying to perfect them or trying to have them compete with another, all right? So when it comes to masculine and feminine energies, for us women, it's very, very important to understand that tapping into just our feminine energies is still not enough. Not that we need a man in our life to do this, no, but we also need to honor our masculine energy that can be more directed, that can be more goal-oriented. That is then what makes us become better manifestors. And for you as a male, it's very important to understand that without this feminine energy that can give things space and that can nurture and that can, bring in the patience that is needed to see something grow. The constant seeking for short-term success, which is the expression of masculine energy, will not make you a good manifester. That will make you a good seeker and somebody who's constantly frustrated and constantly, unhappy about whatever you've accomplished in your life because you're already trying to seek for the next thing. All right. So this is how feminine and masculine energies in us conflict sometimes. And it's important that we invest into this deeper understanding that can then help us to make better choices in life. All right. So what is the significance of the different stages of grieving here for us as self-healers? Every time we have to let go, every time we go through a learning, through an integrating of things, of new things, there is something that we have to let go. It doesn't necessarily have to be the big things, like the loss of a loved one or, the job that we just got fired from, or the relationship that just fell apart. It can also be, our opinions or our views, or simply certain hopes and dreams that we had that we sometimes need to let go. And it's in the human nature to go through several stages of this, all right? To struggle with, this new reality that comes in through having to let go of something, all right? And in the course of learning how to master our energies better and even how to understand them better, understanding these different stages of letting go can be a major game changer for you, because it's in the patterns and the mechanics of your ego, all right, that we all have to go through the same stages, no matter how individual you think your situation is. It's part of our humanness, all right, that makes us go through these different emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual challenges. Some of us can go through this very quickly. We can transcend things, within a couple of minutes or a couple of hours. And some of us can get stuck in any of these stages for days or weeks or years sometimes. All right, that's why it's really, really important for you, if you want to know what these different stages of awakening are, to see the connection here. Because when you awaken to a new reality, when you awaken to new things within yourself, that means that you also have to let go of old beliefs. This is a normal thing. Every time we learn something new, we have to revise and let go of something old. And in essence, that's how evolution works, all right? But internally, this is how our inner confliction works. And so let me just go through this here with you real quick. The first stage is the resistance stage. This is where we go into denial. Okay, I'm sure you all know this. Something happens, or you realize something, and there's this part in you that says, no, 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 this can't be. All right. Sometimes, of course, it can also be shocking for you, where you literally don't know what to do, and you just get stunned and you kind of freeze. All right. This is still a form of resistance. This is when you get overwhelmed by whatever, the insight or the event is. So resistance is the first big ego hurdle that we all have to go through in our process of changing, because our system is inert, especially our ego only really likes things that it's familiar with. So no matter what it is that you want to change, or that you need to deal with, that you need to cope with, there's going to be an initial resistance in you. And also, of course, when it's changes that affect other people, you need to expect that there will be an initial resistance from other people coming, because it triggers the fear of the unknown, all right? And nobody wants to face that. So there's this avoidance, this denial that comes in. The second phase of our awakening, of our changing process, of our grieving, of our dealing, with the new, is that we experience some kind of release. Okay, so of course, if it is something very tragic, then we cry, or we feel a lot of physical releases at first, and then they typically go into emotional releases, fear, but also severe anger and anxiety, all coping mechanisms with something that is overwhelming. So that's a step above just being stunned. You're now allowing yourself to vent. Okay, you're now allowing yourself to release things, to clear out things. All right, and this increases your energy. It increases your ability to better cope with the situation. The next phase, then, the third phase, is sort of the relapse phase. All right, this is where your ego starts bargaining. Yeah, but what if? Or that's where all the mental looping comes in, where you get all these inner doubts, and where you feel like, oh no, and if I do this, then this is going to happen, and what am I going to do if this is going to happen? We call this cognitive dissonances. All right, this is sort of your ego mind starting to interpolate the future, this new thing, this change, this whatever your new self-awareness, or the way you see yourself, and it starts bargaining is to go back to the old ways. All right, in recovery, we know that this is the phase where we typically relapse. Okay, this is when one drink is going to be all right. Okay, or when we say, oh, just one more, or something like that. All that is bargaining. All right, this is where your ego is still extremely conflicted, and it is not willing yet to accept this new reality. The next phase, then, the fourth phase, is where we can go into a little bit of a depression, because here, and this is where many of us can get stuck in, regardless of our better knowing, is where we feel, oh, no matter what I try, that things are never going to change, and I constantly keep on running into the same old, life is just happening to me. It's like a continual repeat, okay? this is where, you know, your energy can only grow and can only come out of if you actually willing to be fully present in the now, fully connected with yourself right now. How am I truly feeling? What do I truly want? What do I truly desire? Is this even something that is authentic to me? Am I congruent with this? Okay, so what will help you to get past this phase of depression, you know, that, you know, things are just happening to you and you are powerless, all right, is self-reflection and the willingness to correct, the willingness to see, okay, I might not have any answer yet, but I can start feeling, you know, that this is the way it is, to accept things the way they are and to become real. The fifth phase then is where you now have the energy and the courage, you know, to venture out, to try new things, to explore your options, to see what this can bring, an opportunity maybe, you know, to see that this change, you know, could actually help you to grow. It can help you to express who you truly are, and you begin to interact with whatever this change or this new insight or this situation is bringing for you. Okay, this is more of a responding now rather than reacting like you did in the first two phases, you know, where you just like were stunned or where you tried to cope. Now you're going into like interacting with it, you're becoming more proactive. And then the last phase of grieving, of transcending, of healing, which is all the same, okay, awakening, you know, evolving, right, is the integration phase. This is when you finally accept things the way they are, when you finally accept, okay, this is done with, all right, you know, this marriage is over, or this job is no longer good for me, and you know, I'm glad that this happened. Or you know, when you begin to reframe your experience, you no longer see this as a tragedy or as a drama. You begin to see the new opportunities that are coming in for you, and you begin to feel new hope. Your energy is now going into sort of manifestation, because it can now start seeing all these new options and a new vision, perhaps even a new inspiration, new ideas, new ways are now coming to you. You don't have to actually go out and do anything. You're starting to integrate and to assimilate all of this. And this is then when you know that you are ready for this change that was brought about through this awakening, or through this event, or through you know, this crisis in your life. What makes you grow? Always remember, in order to grow, you need to let go. And grieving is a normal part of letting go, all right? No matter what triggered you to let go. Ideally, you want to be the one that chooses to let go, because then, you know, going through these phases makes you feel much more empowered than when you wait until the drama or the pain gets so strong that, again, you know, you have no other choice than to let go. It will still work, all right, but you'll add more quality to it if you make this a conscious choice, because now you can own all these different phases, and you can really see how this is trampolining you upward, bit by bit, step by step. Thank you very much for listening. Please comment, ask questions, or share, you know, some of the things that you went through in your grieving, in your letting go process, and what has helped you. If you would like to learn this as an empath, as an energetically sensitive, you know, these different layers that are involved in this in a more detailed way, then check out our Sacred Self-Healing Program. It's specifically designed with 24 different modalities to guide you through your personal awakening process. Thank you very much. Share the videos, push the subscribe button, and like. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.